The rain may have stopped for now, but here in the Sumas Prairie, the waters are still rising, and it's all coming straight from the border. The Nooksack River in Washington is flooding, and its water is creeping north into Sumas Prairie for a second time in 4 years. It's like a slow-moving tsunami. You can literally watch the peak build south of the border and then see that surge push north for hours afterward. That watching and waiting feels helpless and dependent on our American neighbors making infrastructure changes. We've seen this before, of course. In November 2021, the Nooksack River breached its banks in northern Washington, sending a torrent of water towards the Fraser Valley. The resulting flooding in Abbotsford-Sumas Prairie closed Highway 1, forced thousands of people from their homes, and caused more than $1 billion in damage. Even before 2021, officials in Abbotsford hoped they could persuade the Americans to build a dike along the north bank of the Nooksack. But those efforts are ongoing amid worries that keeping the water south of the border would aggravate flooding in Washington state communities.
So I want to point to the Sumas River Watershed Flood Mitigation Planning Initiative for the work they're doing, and also the Transboundary Initiative over the border with Washington. So it's not that people aren't thinking about these things. They do take a while, but also I do think that they could have come a little quicker.
And being at the bottom of the hill, so to speak, well, here's how it plays out. Once the water hits the old Sumas Lake drainage network, the troughs and ditches designed to pull water out of the basin, it actually gets focused and moves faster. That's why gauges here keep rising long after the rain clouds in Washington move away. Atmospheric rivers are part of this region's natural cycle. They supply up to 90% of annual precipitation in the Pacific Northwest. But 2 of these doozies in 4 years, well, that's the fingerprint of climate change. Scientists tracking trends since the 80s have found that these storms have grown 6 to 9% larger, 2 to 6% more frequent, and after 2021, researchers concluded warming had made that disaster 60% more likely. I wouldn't be surprised if that number looks very similar when the analysis for this event is done. So are we surprised 4 years later that we are once again watching the waters in Washington? Not really. A warmer world doesn't just intensify storms, it reshapes the odds. And rivers like the Nooksack and the Sumas write the ending that is still unfolding, with another atmospheric event just around the corner.
We're watching the forecasting of this next atmospheric river. So we really would like to see the stream levels recede a little bit, or as much as possible, before this next atmospheric river